share now. Maybe we are already seeing my screen. So, good morning, good afternoon for you, good morning for me all. It's a pleasure to be here. So, I will talk about tropical forests now. And with this proposed question here, are humans so unscientific in planet exploration? And I will talk about the link between the above ground and the carbon in the soil in the tropics. So the first thing is like we are exploring the world, and especially here in the Amazon. So from the last 10 years, Amazon has been deforested for a long time. And in the recent years, like 2020 and 21 and 2019, the increase in deforestation gets in high levels. So you can see here this BBC news about the deforestation in the Amazon, and here the planet image from the middle part of the Amazon, one state called Mato Grosso, which are in the border of the Amazon. And then we see the expansion of the agriculture mainly for pasture or soybean, with cutting down the trees and also putting fire here. And you can also see here the time lapsing. This is just 1 year, right? Because it starts here in 21, the quarter of the 21, and go into 22. So it's just two separate places and then 1 year of deforestation. So one thing that we start to thinking about is how the above ground, I mean the vegetation part of the forest could interact with the forest soil and affect the carbon storage in the soil. So there is pathways, there is some relationships inside the forest that could predict the soil carbon. So we start our research here in the east part of the Amazon, in a place called Tapajós, and this is our site of study. It's a unit of conservation unit. So you can see also in this satellite image that we have the conservation unit here, and then you have also deforestation, the board. So because these areas actually act as a barrier for deforestation. Here is the Tapajós River. It's one of the important rivers here in the Amazon. They will join with the Amazon River more in the north here. So here is the Amazon River, and the Tapajós River is just here. So in this place, we establish 1 hectares plots, and we measure many attributes of the vegetation, many attributes of the humipedon, the litter, and many attributes of the soil, and try to do some research. Here's the entrance of the place. And why? But why we did that? Because we understand that a forest could act as a system, right? Like a system where we have the inputs here, mainly by the sun, by the precipitation, but also inputs through the litter fall and through the force to the soil. And then we have this all inputs taking a process in the forest floor. And then we can, of course, get some storage of carbon and nutrients, of course, or loss of carbon and nutrients. And the soil actually also give some feedback to the forest to grow, and the forest this feedback to the soils. Actually, it's a huge thing to see in the Amazon, because the soils in the Amazon is very sandy soil. So you have much of the fertility and the soil quality in all kinds of measures that we can imagine, like CTC, like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, in the first 10 centimeters of the soil. Below that is the soil is very poor, actually. So we established this kind of concept model. We use a statistics called structural equation modeling to try to establish effects between these components. So we measure different kinds of diversity in this forest, like channel diversity, higher field diversity. We measure all the above ground in this 1 hectare plots. We measure the leaves. Sorry. We measure the leaves, phosphorus, nitrogen in the leaf, the litter quality, the soil texture, enzymes in the soil, and of course the carbon in the soil. And we try to do this concept that is effect between 2 or more components. So here we can see the errors that give the direction of the effect, and the signs here seems like what we expect of this effect. If this effect could be positive or negative or both, depending the quality of the components, right? So our results show that first we identified 3 pathways that explain almost 60% of the carbon stock in the soil in the first 15 centimeters. So, and we have here, the first path is the path that go from diversity to above ground biomass to soil enzymes to the carbon. We can see this number here, like this number here, like a normal Pearson correlations, and we have no direct effect from diversity to soil carbon, no direct effects from above ground biomass, above ground of the forest to the soil carbon, but we can see the effect from diversity to above ground biomass, from the above ground biomass to enzymes, and then enzymes to the soil carbon. And here in the right, you can see the individual relationships of each arrow of this correlation. Of course, we can also measure the total indirect and effect from diversity to the carbon in the soil. This is the first path. The second one go from the leaf quality, and we measure here nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon from the leaves, the green leaves of the trees. Then we measure the same nutrients from the litter, and this have effects on the carbon on the soil, especially the phosphorus, because here in the tropical we have a lot of legumes, so we have no problem with nitrogen in the soil, but we have a huge problem, not problem, but the phosphorus is not so available in the soil here. So when you have different phosphorus quantity here, we have different types of litter that could hugely affect the carbon in the soil. And the last one, and actually well-known effect, is go through to the soil texture, especially clay, because when the soil is turned more clayed, they can affect more the enzyme activity. This affects more the soil carbon. So when the soil is the parts of the Amazon that we measure that the soil is more sandy, this effect is more weaker. And when the soil is more clayed, the effect is more stronger because the enzyme activity is more strong as well. And also here we can see the individual effects, positive effects from each area of this pathway here. So to be short and to be concise, I'm about to finish. And the question is, if are humans so unscientific in planetary exploitation? Well, I can answer this question now, but if we think in the tropical forests, we need to understand these relationships, right? Because now the common way to produce in many parts of Brazil is just take out the forest and plant something or growing cattle, you know, and then the guys just use this land by 4 and 5 years, 6 years maximum, then they move. So if we do not understand this relationship, I believe that we will not be able to persist long in these plants if we do not have this this understand of the force. So that's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Fernando.
Stop
And
share.
let Giacomo take the screen.